Hi everyone, my name is Dima and today we're going to talk about MCP servers. Why do we need them and what is the reason to use them? About tools, list of tools, inject the tools, all of them are tools. So let's go. Imagine you are a user which has some desktop application and another application like desktop application. Let it be cloud code because I use this one and it's really good. And you have a large language model with which you are working. So your general communication goes like you go to your cloud code and you ask it about something. Give me list of active users, please. And we need to make a little bit more adjustments because it doesn't fit here. Okay, and let's make active GitHub users, please. And like if your desktop application goes with this question to LLM, asks about, if it goes to your LLM in a regular world, your LLM probably will answer you that, oh, sorry, man, I don't have access to GitHub. Please, provide me a list of all the users with some context, and maybe I will be able to answer you. So that's not what we want. We want our LLM to be able to reach something outside of its own world. Your LLM is very smart, but it's smart because it has a lot of training rounds and so on. So your LLM doesn't have any access to some things which you are using in your current work or in your real life. So when your application goes to LLM and asks about give me a list of active GitHub users, please, what happens? Before this question, your desktop application makes another call and it goes to MCP server. MCP server is just a separate application which has some API, HTTP, STD, standard input or something like that. And it just has API, and you, by this standardized API, make your application makes a simple call, list tools, please. And you ask MCP server about tools. What are the tools? Tools are basically functions which can be invoked. So query database or insert in the database or query some other service or make some action. All of them are tools. They have some interface and they have some comments which they have some arguments which can be passed in. So basically tools are actions which your MCP server can do. For instance, if we are talking about GitHub, let's put it like that, your MCP server knows GitHub API, and when we ask our MCP server about tools, it says, okay, I can do query, I can list PR, I can list repos, and so on. So you can see that our MCP server can do a lot of things, and which is good because you have a lot of different applications and you don't want all of these tools to be stored in your LLM by default because it will pollute the context. So every MCP server provides its own list of tools. And when you and your desktop application, when you get this list of tools, and when you go to LLM and ask it about your question, you provide in this request to LLM also available tools. It's like that. So now LLM knows about your question and about available tools. And as we mentioned before, your LLM is smart. And because it's smart, it says, okay, so I need to list GitHub users, active users. So I will ask our desktop application, invoke tool list users. And our desktop application, it's of course this request is sent in some serializable in some defined format. Our application sends another structured request to MCP server and does list users with some x, y, z arguments. And our MCP server, because it knows how to interact with GitHub, maybe it will go to the GitHub through some HTTP API, maybe it will do another request, I don't know, it can even work by, I don't know, email or something like that. It sends request to GitHub, let it be HTTP request in GitHub format. So it sends this request to GitHub, it receives response from GitHub, like response, and this response is brought back to our desktop application, and our desktop application gives it back to the LLM response. And now your LLM knows about your question, about tools, about tool which was used, and it knows about response. So now LLM can aggregate all this data, response and everything, and can finally provide you some answer, some formatted list of active users. Okay, awesome. So now your LLM responded to you with a list of active users. How our MCP server helped us here? So MCP server provided us a list of tools which LLM doesn't have by default. For instance, as I said before, you can have some database MCP servers, you can have some Atlassian, Jira, Confluence MCP servers, you can have some MCP servers from your application which you use, and many more. So there are plenty of possibilities to create your own MCP servers, and they just extend your LLM possibilities with some of the APIs for which they're designed. And these MCP servers, they can be written by you, or you can use some MCP servers provided by community, which removes a headache from you. Of course, you can write all the code in your desktop application, and in this case, you can maintain all the tools and you can inject the tools into LLM. But it brings you the problem that you need to maintain the backward compatibility and other stuff. MCP server, which is handled by the community, it just works. So you just attach it, very simple with several lines of code, and it works seamlessly with an MCP protocol. So that is the general purpose of MCP server. It just works, it just extends your LLM with additional functionality, and it's pretty simple, I can say. So in the next videos, I think I will talk with you a little bit more about MCP protocol, how to write your very first and very simple MCP server, which you can use, and maybe I will also dive deep into some details of the interaction between our desktop application and MCP server with other applications, just to make it a little bit more clear for you, because I like to dig into, and I think it helps a lot to understand what's going on. So thank you for watching this video, and hope to see you next time. See you soon in the next videos. Bye bye.